Joined today by Glenn Stewart from the Horse Ranch. How are you doing today, Glenn?
I'm doing good, Dub.
Thank you so much for coming by all the way in from Baldonnel this morning, I suppose.
Yeah, no problem.
Why don't you tell us a bit about what you do at the Horse Ranch? I know we were discussing beforehand, what it's all about, and it's actually about a lot of things, isn't it?
Yeah, there's lots going on out there. I think what I was trying to think, well, what do I say? Because there's just a whole lot of things to cover, but basically we set up everything that we do out there is for fun. Mm-hmm. It's like all my jobs, careers, whatever, I really enjoy it. And the ranch is kind of set up for people to come out. Big groups of people can come out there and have a lot of fun in various different ways.
Yeah.
We've got covered fire pit. We've got a covered dance floor. We've got cabins that you can rent. We've got plug-in campsites. We've got a heated indoor arena that's also got rooms in it. Mm-hmm. We've got a bush bar. We've had a music festival out there before. We've had companies bring out for barbecues. We've done team building, leadership training out there for different groups. We do horsemanship year round there. So in the summertime we do camps and people can come out with their horses and they can spend 5 days or a month, or some people come out in May and they don't leave, and they might be around there for 2 years. So that happens. We got a thing called Rent the Ranch. And so you can actually rent the ranch, which we can help set up things for you, or you can have a wedding there. We've had weddings at the facility, and you get to rent the ranch from Friday to Sunday, and whether it's a company barbecue or campouts or whatnot, we've done that. The list goes on. We've sleigh rides, wagon rides. We just did a man tracker out there so people can, they can bring their buddies out, or you can bring your company out, or like you all from the Moose M, you could all gather up and.
Are you listening, Adam?
Yeah. You tell Adam.
Man tracker would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How much space you got out there for all these things?
It's a quarter section, and it's right on the banks of the Beaten River, so. We've got trails all over the quarter section, so I bought it and it was all bush.
Yeah.
And so I went in there and I've kind of logged little meadows and trails into each meadow and set up kept it so it's out of the wind, and you're kind of lost on that quarter section. We just did a 3-day fun day out there where we had river rides and a man tracker and a horsemanship competition and chili cook-off, and so that was a 3-day event that just finished, but yes, we do that for people as well out there. So just a lot of anything kind of fun. It's kind of set up to do that.
All right. So essentially a big event kind of space that you can rent, that you can include all these different things. You can work with people on what they want to do, and whatever the event happens to be, it could probably work out at the Horse Ranch, I suppose.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. It's set up for. Yeah, it's kind of, they just got to approach us and ask, and away we go. But yeah, we've done various things for groups, and like I say, the horsemanship's a big thing. We're going into winter, and so we'll be we got all of December's booked with horses and people coming. I'll be in Florida for the month of November, so then I get started in the beginning of December and into January. And
okay.
Yeah.
For someone like me who didn't grow up kind of around horses and really in a rural setting in the same way, and I know there's not many of us, but nonetheless, tell us a bit about what horsemanship is and what you kind of learn about it. Is it handling horses? Is it for the horses, or the kind of the horse handler, or both?
Yeah. That's a good question. Often I say I'm helping horses with their people. Because when you're involved with horses, they didn't pick you. So like if you decided you wanted to get into horses, you're going to go start hunting around and looking for a horse. Yeah. You're going to drive around the country. You're going to go to an auction. You're going to do something, and you're going to pick a horse for whatever reason. And I like his color, or I like his size, or something like this, or your friend told you that's the one you should have. So you take the horse, but the horse has no say in who they get. The horse has no say in who buys them. So what I try to do is get people to look at some of these things and go, one of the things that I'll say to folks is, if we turned it around and we just run people through the auction ring, and the horses and the horses were sitting in the grandstands looking down or driving around. The horses are driving around from house to house and having a look at the humans in there. Would you get picked?
And I guess I suppose part of it too. What can you do to be better so that your chances of being picked are better, or that a horse would want to be handled by you? I suppose
exactly. So there's skills that a horse would hope that we would have, or hope that we'd be working on. And so, in a nutshell, that's what I'm doing is I'm trying to help people get more and more skills, because the horses just get better and better all the time, depending on your skill level and your knowledge of horses. The horses just get better. It never stops. People ask, well, how long does it take to finish a horse? And so the horse is never finished unless you are. So when you've run out of talent, knowledge, feel and timing, skills, whatever, then the horse is finished. But it's not because he doesn't have any more talent to give, or there's not more there to have from the horse. It's because we run out of skills and knowledge. So yeah, I'm always trying to teach people to understand horses a little better, and get some of the things that horses want. And they want the two most important things that a horse wants from people is feel and timing. And your feel and timing absolutely changes depending on your perspective of what just went on. So everybody has a perspective about everything. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're doing around horses or not. You've made a decision about something, that this meant something, that meant something. So-and-so said this, which means blah, blah, blah. And you have a perspective on what they just said to you. So you're going to carry, when you're playing around with horses, doing something with horses, you're going to have a perspective about what's going on with your horse. So therefore, you're going to treat him with a certain feel and timing. But we're born with feel and timing that is absolutely interferes with good horsemanship. There's all kinds of things that we're born with as predators, because we're predators, they're prey animals. There's all kinds of things that we're born with that interfere with what makes horses comfortable. And so you have to recognize what those are, become aware of them, and as you're going through the horsemanship, you actually should be learning what I would consider true horsemanship. Your liberty, which means your horse is loose. So you turn him loose, you got no ropes on him, and you have control of the horse on the ground, and he'll move his hindquarters, forequarters. You can turn him on a right foot, a left foot, back him up straight, send him over a jump, whatever, and you got no ropes on him whatsoever. And then there's online, where you're on the ground still, but you have a line attached to your horse, and so you've got all kinds of things that you can do with him online. And then there's in the saddle, there's two savvies in the saddle. So one is freestyle riding, where you ride with a loose rein or nothing on the horse's head at all, no, maybe just a string around his neck or no string around his neck. Maybe you're riding with two sticks, but that's called freestyle riding. And then finesse is when you ride with contact. So there's basically four savvies that if you're working truly on your horsemanship, there'd be four areas that you're working on. So it's an endless amount of stuff to work on, and you can keep taking it to another level and another level. I'm at home right now just trying to get through stage 5 with one of my horses and put it online. So we have an online course too, so people can do online lessons.
I see.
And you can do stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So I've got stage 1 to 4 has been online for a couple of years. So now I'm going to add stage 5 to it. So we're just in the process of making the last video for that. So we have people all over the world that are following the stages program, and people all over the world coming here. And I'm on my way to Florida, and I'll be having people flying in from Denmark and whatnot to meet me in Florida, and we'll be playing with dressage horses and jumping horses down there. And yeah, horses we got some that we play with that are as high as $2 million a horse.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, this is fascinating. What can I say? Let's go back to kind of, even if we want to, all the way back to your childhood. I mean, what kind of inspired you to make this a career, and even later in life then to purchase the horse ranch and kind of turn it into what it is, the kind of event space? Yeah.
So I had no plan to do that, but like all the stuff that's went on, I never planned it or never set my sights on all these things. I've competed in a few competitions that are at world level, and there'll be like 3 of us picked in the world to compete, and I'll be at some of these competitions, but I never planned at any of those. I never planned to go to the Calgary Stampede and compete down there and in different events. None of it was planned. It was I actually just really enjoyed horses. I was always I couldn't even say passionate about horses. Because I wasn't before I am now, because now the more I know, the more interested I become in everything, because I see how much it changes people.
Yeah.
In order to get good with horses, you got to change. And
did you grow up with horses, Glenn?
I did. Yeah. So I grew up with horses right out close to where I live, and Dad got me a horse when I was quite young. I think we moved to Baldonnel when I was 6, and I had a horse shortly after that once we got to the farm there. And I'd been around horses a little bit before that, because we lived in Grand Haven actually 100 years ago, when there was hardly nobody around, and there was a feed mill on the main street of the Alaska Highway. So I would pedal over there to I guess, yeah, that's right, I did have a horse there, because I'd pedal over from school after school. So we were still in Grand Haven when I was 6, because I would pedal after school to the feed store where there was a horse that Dad had for me, and I would jump on. I guess it was Old Scout, and I would just jump on. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I didn't have a lesson. I didn't know nothing. I just just shove you on a horse
Hopped
and
on.
go have fun. And yeah,
Good luck.
and I used to go tearing down the side of the road. There was no houses and to speak of until you got to the gas station right there at the corner, what is it now, Humpty's?
Yeah, I know the area.
There was I think it was a Petrocan maybe back then. So from the feed mill down to there was really it was just a ditch, and there was a dugout, because I remember I used to swim through the dugout on the horse, a little dugout, so I'd go through there. And this is somewhere between 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that. I'd go for a ride and make a big loop out through the fields, rip around and come back to the feed mill, let the horse go, jump on my bike, and pedal back to Grand Haven. And so I started playing around, but I didn't have any guidance. Nobody was. I don't recall anybody riding with me. It's like, here's the horse, have fun. So, but then we moved out to Baldonnel and had a cattle ranch, and always had a horse or two kicking around there that I used to ride around, and I used to ride down into the Beaten River.
Yeah.
From home every chance I got, and we'd ride up and down the river. And I had a friend that they had a property on the river, and so I'd meet up with him, and we'd get lost down there in that valley and cross the river and fart around down in there. And I did that right through into my teens. And then once I was old enough, I knew where some of the beaches were and stuff. There's like hidden beaches sort of deal down there. There's no roads, there's no property. It's just crown land down there. So I knew where one of those were. And then I stumbled onto at the end of a road. The road ended, then there was a bunch of bush, and then I had to make a quarter-mile of road, I guess, just to get to the property, and the property was all bush, but I didn't realize it was actually private land, so I bought that private land off of somebody, this patch of bush, and then dug a hole in the center there and started putting up a house and fences, and
the rest is history, I suppose. Hey?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, as you said, you've got the horsemanship side. You've got the kind of event side where you can rent the ranch and all that. How can people get in touch with you to ask more questions, to find out what they can do to do some work with you, Glenn?
Well, we love old school the most around there. We've got Val that's in at the office, and the phone number there is 250-789-3072, but you can always contact us at glenn@thehorseranch.com.
And that's Glenn with two N's, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. Val@thehorseranch.com. So, and then our the website's thehorseranch.com. So, yeah. If you get looking around for something that says the Horse Ranch, you'll probably run into us.
Awesome. Well, Glenn, thank you so much for coming by and sharing your story with us today. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Join us next Thursday.